Today's discussion was probably all about our Facebook interview question. This question is taken from Data Viewer, and this is a hard level question. Okay, so in this question, we were probably discussing about one of the important aspect which do not get afraid or scared or confused about the solutions. We will be rewriting this from the scratch. Okay, I just take this out and put my notepad. Great. In today's discussion, we were basically discussing about this user actions table. So I will not go and say read all the questions because it will take consume lot of time for us. So rather, we will be directly focusing on the approach part. Okay. So in today's approach, okay, let me just give you a brief about the question, a quick recap of the question. So this is a user action table. Here you have event date. Now here there are three different months. Probably here you only see 05 and 06, but in our case it is for July. So I am considering there are three different months. So now in this question, what we wanted to do is we wanted to extract the users from, I'll show it here itself. So we have to extract the users in from July and we need to count their MOU. So which is monthly MAU, I will say MAU. So which is monthly active users. So to calculate the monthly active users, what I can do is I will get the count of July. Okay. I will take the count of June. And what I can do is C July minus C June divided by C June. So basically this will give me the monthly active users. So with a small example I can show, let's say in July we had 100, in June we had, let's say, 60 people. Okay, so what is my MOU? So MOU will be MAU will be basically 100 minus 60 divided by 60. So this is my MAU, right? And this is in the, I will say this as a growth percentage also, right? So this you can consider as a MAU. And now if you just multiply 100 with 100 into 66.7, so you get around 66.66, which is around 67 approximately. So you can say that the growth is probably a 7 users per growth. So this is how we generally calculate MAU, monthly active user, and this is nothing but your growth percentage. So how much it has grown. So from that percentage, I will multiply it with the current users, and then I get a approximate figure. And if I just compare 67 with 60, I will say that around 7%, 7 people have engaged themselves in the activities. So this is one of the approach which at industry level we can use, but it again depends on the analyst how they want to go ahead with the approaches. Okay, so in this question, using that approach could be slightly tricky. That is why what I am planning is a in functions approach, this functions approach. I'm just highlighting it with yellow. So now what I will do is, rather than going for a calculation based problem, okay, what I can do is simply if I just take the active users in July and June, and if I just count of them, means let's say I have 100 active users in July. Now if I use a in function and I get around 5 users were actually from the month of July, from the month of June, right? So what will I say is, yes, in month of July, I have 5 active users who came from the month of June. So this I can actually do using a in function. So I will avoid this kind of calculation to just a single in function, using a single in function. So let's try how can we solve this question. So let's just select everything, okay, and then extract some of the steps, such as extract month from event date as M, extract year from event date as Y. Now, uh, to avoid the confusion, I am specifying that why I am using the extract, because I need for July the number should be in the means the month should be in the numerical format, so I have used the extract function. Year is also been specified over here, that is 2022, so I am also extracting the year. Great. So this will be done from my user actions table. Okay, now obviously I need the where condition as well. So where, one by one we will do. See, I will just specify this part also. If you can see this hint part, so they have mentioned that an active user is defined as a user who has performed actions such as sign in, like or comment in the previous month. Means if if there are 100 users in July, and we are assuming that these 5 users were in month of June, then yes, the 5 users have done all the 3 different actions: sign in, comment, and like. So if they have done all these actions, then we are considering them as the active users for the month of July, because they came from the month of June. It is as simple as that. So now we will put the conditions as well. So this extract month in 6 comma 7. So what I have done here is I'm extracting the month, and I am directly using the in condition in first step, and I am saying that this month should be in either in the month of June or July. Only these 2 months I am taking out as of now. Okay, in the next part I will be taking the year also out, which will be, I will take this line below so that, okay, so year will be my 2022, 2022. Now one more condition is this, where event type in this will be in a kind of list now. So sign in, like, and comment, right? Till here I think so it should also work properly. And where is that line number 6? This extract line number 7, I think small issues are there. So extract, we have extracted the month. Acha, yeah, where condition always use the and function, right? So yes, and probably now it is working for month of June and July. Till here this part is done. Okay, now what I did in the second step. So being the month is June, July, so I will be taking select 7 as month, okay, from CTE, because the first code, this code I am going to put this in the CTE, so I am just writing the code for it. So from CTE, right? Now once I get this part, then I need to count those part, right? Like how many users were there in month of July also. So I can just put it this way, comma, count. user ID as mon- monthly active users. Okay, from CT, then group by month. Also, I can actually put a condition here. Let me just first put this in CT with CTE as. So till here, let's just see what are we getting. So we are getting 11 active users. Let me just submit this and show you what's the issue. So you can see here the correct answer tells that there are only 2 active users, not 11. So why are we getting 11? So the problem over here is we are actually getting the active users for the month of 7. So we need to also put a condition that yes, this monthly active users should also be in the month of June. So because of that condition is not there, that is why we were getting this part. So or else I can just put the where condition and this part equals to select user ID. Okay. Acha, before this part also I will just show you one more thing. What if I use the distinct function? So still you just get this part. The problem over here is if I use the distinct also, I still get this part. And if I just use the distinct inside my user ID thing, it is reduced to 3. So you can see there are 11 users were there in total, out of which they were repetitive, means they were, like I will say in SQL terms, like they were duplicated. So we use the distinct function and we directly came from 11 to 3. Now with our instincts we understood that yes, one of the user, like here how I have mentioned, like yes, one of the user is from the month of you will say July only, because there are 3 users. Okay, in July there are 3 users. Okay, now I know that these 3 users should be also in June. If not, take them out. So this is what our condition tells, right? The use of in function, if you remember, we are discussing. So that is what I'm going to put it here. So where user ID in select distinct user ID from, I will, my table name was users actions, where m equals to, or I can say my table name is CTE, so where m equals to 6. Now let's just run this. So you can see how we came from a big query to a small query, and then we are just submitting this part. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. You have liked this video as well, and you understood some new parts, new concept of these questions. So one more question I can take because if the time permits. So the next question, okay, before moving to the next question, I just give you a revision of this. Basically, this question was monthly active users, MAUs. Okay, about MAUs. Now, in my first query, which is from this part, so I have selected everything. Okay, then I have given the extraction part I have taken. So I have taken the month and year outside. After taking the month and year extracted from the date column, then I have given the where condition. So my where condition was firstly for the month, because I only need for July and June. So 6 and 7. So I have used the in condition here, which we were discussing at this point. So using the in condition, I saw I have design this query in a way that now the whole table from here to here will be only reflecting the month for 6 and 7. After this, we have also filtered out the year. And then last filter was on the event type because it was given in the question. If this part was not given, I would have not included this part also. After this, I have simply taken because my dates were, my month were in the numerical format, so I have taken 7 as my month. So simply I have taken 7 from this where condition to here. Then I have counted the user ID, and also if I just remove this distinct function, then you can see what will happen. You still have 9 user ID. Why? Because they are repetitive here. So if you just put the user ID column, one extra column here, then you will also group by the user ID, and you can see now how the things is changing. So you can see your user ID 648 and 445 are repetitive 5 and 4 times. So now when you just put the distinct function here, so you can see 1 and 1. So basically this is how the work is happening. So I hope you have enjoyed this video, and let's move on to the next question. So the next question is YOY, growth rate. Okay, and I also take this because in any case if we need the solution, then we can use it. So you remember this growth rate thing we were discussing here at this point. How do we calculate a growth rate in general? So the same thing. So obviously, the growth rate is like it is very common that we use this kind of formula to calculate the growth rate. So generally, this kind of questions are being asked by the companies from the financial department, or you can say the stock market department. So what is the growth rate of a specific stock, or how much the revenue has increased from 2020 to 2023? So on. So these are kind of calculation we generally do. Now, let's just observe the table, users transaction. So here we have 4 columns: ID, product ID, spend, and transaction date. Okay, you can see the transaction date is actually in the format of timestamp because the time is also given over here. So one observation is this. Okay, now what we want to do, or what we have to do. So write a query to calculate YOY. YOY means year on year growth. Okay, so YOY for the total spend of each product, grouping the results by product ID. Total spend of each product. So this is spend, this is product ID. So if I just do this part first, and YOY between what? Current year's spend and previous year's spend, and YOY growth percentage rounded up to 2. So current year spent basically in year 2020. So here is an explanation in year 2020, and let's just see how many year also we have, right? So extract year from transaction date from users transaction as Y, and let's just see how many years we have. Okay, we have several years, but okay, let's just keep the distinct. So we have 4 years probably, 19 to 2022. Okay, now they need for which year? Let's just see that. The output should include the year in ascending order, product ID, current year spent, previous year spent, and so basically they want this between 20 to 21 it seems. So we compare the current year spend with the previous year. For instance, the grew rate from 22 is this including a positive rate. So basically this table we have to create, okay? And to create this table, what we can do is hmm, let's just use a group by first, okay? So select product ID, comma. Acha, one second. I need this Y part, okay? So I write here product ID, sum spend as amount, right? Group by product ID Y. Let's just see. So you can see that uh, because we have also done with the product ID. So let's just take this product ID. This is not necessary now. So 19, 21, and I do ordered by Y. Hmm? And let's just see. So now we have this part. Okay. So basically YOY between 22 and 21 is this minus the figure in 4480 divided by 4480.94. This is what is the YOY for the current year, because I will consider current year for 2022 only. So in general this question talks about this kind of stuff. Okay, so let's just create this table first and then we will create the YOY rate. So now creating the table. So select extract year from uh, transaction date as year, product ID. Okay. So current year spend. So basically how have I calculated the current year spend in my previous analysis was I just kept the spend as current year spend. Then I have used the lag function. So I just show you what I did. So this I am considering this spend as the spend of the current year. Let's just imagine that way. So spend as CURR year spend, okay, and the previous year spend. So I use a lag function. If you remember what is lag, then if you don't remember, then you can just see here like 1, 2, 3. Using a lag function will give me 1, 2, and this part becomes null. If I use a lead function, this will give me 2, 3, and this part will become null. So basically lag pulls down, lead pulls up. This is what is the concept of lag and lead. So you can just keep this in mind if you have just forgotten this part, not an issue. So then next is my year. So basically in the lag function when I use the okay, not year, this is the spend, I sorry, spend over. And now just imagine if I do partition with the product ID, so will that be right or not? You can see partition by product ID is essential over here, because in this analysis when we were seeing with the for the product ID, then the product ID were for different years, the same products were been taken for different years, so we have to do that. And in this case also you can just see like 1, 2, 3, 4, the product ID is there. So in 19 also they have taken 2020, 2021, and 2022, and then they have calculated the YOY. So the same thing I will also do. So partition by product ID, order by Now I need the order by transaction date in descending order. Why? Because I need it in the in a sorted format. Because if you just imagine, if 20 would be here, 2019 will be somewhere in the fourth row, 21 will be in the second, and 22 will be in the third, then you can imagine how the calculation will go wrong. So that is why I have written here that the year basically should be in the descending ascending order. So that is what am I going to do right now, right? I am going to do right now. So uh, also this transaction date is there, no? We have actually taken the year outside, so I will just take this part. Order by transaction date as previous year. After this, I need to calculate my YOY. So my YOY will be right now. See, if I want to calculate the YOY, it is quite simple that I can just take this part minus this part, okay, means the current spent minus this part whole divided by the same. So I will directly get my YOY. But because this line is very long, I'm going to put it in a separate queue. But to just show you, let's just try that as well. So this is what I have done in my previous analysis when I was working on the same problem. I'm going to change this analysis as of now, and I'm going to do this to just observe that if it works or not, nothing else. Let's say as C from user transactions, and let's just run this for a while. So you can see that there is a issue with current year spend. So if I just change this to current year spend, line number 4 as an issue. Okay, I think so. Postgre may we cannot use the single thing. I think we have to use a double quotation. Doesn't exist. Okay, no problem. Now I will take it as spend. So you can see here, right? You can see here this actually works, and you get some column also. So now let me just multiply this with 100.0 and just see what is the result. Okay, now I will just round this up, round how, and what is my round thing? Round up to 2 decimals. Okay, so round the whole part up to 2 decimals, and then just see. So this we got. After this, is there anything else like ordering or what? Hmm. I don't think there is somewhere any order by thing is written here. So let's just change this C name as YOY. YOY, and just run this. Acha. Okay, okay. This will be this actually. It is underscore, not P hyphen. And let's just submit this. So the output doesn't match. Uh, Probably the output doesn't match, probably because of some of the calculation issue that could have happened. So yes, there could be some calculation issue, I think, which could have happened. Also, if I just see just a moment, till spent it is till previous year it is actually correct. Okay, and then if you just see, so the null thing is obviously null, and just see the first calculation of 2022. see here. So basically, what we did, okay, okay. So one problem that happened here is, see, we are dividing it with this part, but we are not subtracting it with the same part, right? So that also we need to take care of. So just a moment. What I am saying is, now I have this spent. So I just give it this way, minus this thing into 100 by 0 into 100.0, and then just run. So now you can actually see the code has worked and the output is also matching, and if I just submit, it works completely. So when this code was this big in front of you, I just modified this one to this small, but to be honest, this is actually confusing for anyone because this is such a big line, right? But if you just understood my logic of what I did, 100 60 thing, then you can use any logic which is with which you are comfortable. So 100 minus 60 divided by 60, and this I will be multiplying with 100, so equals to into 100. So this is what I have done. To get this part, what I did was I used a lag function. So basically in this question, it was nothing to do with the year as of now, rather it was all about the lag function. So we were considering the spend as the current spend first, then we have created one more column of the previous spend, okay, and then we have done the partition by product ID, which gave me what, if there are like ABC product, like ABC product, then partition did what, A, and it was for 19, 20, 21 and 22. So now I got some, I will say some of the, let's say I got 10 here, I got 20 here, then I got 30, then I got 24. Let's say we got some percentage over here, right? So I mean some value over here. So these values were the current spend. So what was my previous spend then? So I just took this 20 here using the lag function, or I will say using the lag function, I just took the 10 down, 20 here, 30 here, and then I just calculated the value. How I calculated? I just did 10 minus 20 divided by 20 100, and I got a percentage, means a specific value, and which we calculated the YOY, and this part is nothing but your YOY. So I hope you have also enjoyed this video and you have learned something essential. And trust me, if you have understood this part, then it is very good, because this YUY concept, which I told you and we have discussed right now, this part is universal for all the question. Let me just tell you this also. So you can use this part anywhere. This logic you can use anywhere for any kind of question. Maybe this could be a stock based question from FANG or any stock based companies, so that if here it was not spent but the stock ID or the stock amount, and they would have asked you the YOY of that specific stock, then the same thing you could have done, right? So the logic is quite similar for this type of question. Now, coming to this solution which I have written. So let me just take that and take the solution out now. So here, what I did is, till the lag function, everything was fine. Like we have discussed what we have done till lag function. After this, in the previous solution, I did the YOY calculation, but is that calculation readable for everyone? No, right? It is a bit difficult. So here I have you given the alias name as previous year spent, and then did the same calculation at this part. So it becomes quite readable for everyone, and then it is also easily understandable for everyone. So this is how uh, you can also solve the question. So using the first window to extract and do some basic aggregation or just formatting. After that, in the second window, you are just calculating the YUI by taking all the values from your first window. So I hope you have enjoyed this video, and you have also liked this. So thank you for being the part of this solution, and this are hard level SQL question. So the next time I come with, then we will be discussing some of the other questions such as this Amazon Prime inventory question. Already this video is there in my channel, but again I will be explaining how can we do it in the optimized way and the easiest way. Okay, so the next time we target Amazon and Google hard question, SQL hard question. Okay, so fine then, have a great day, and please do like, subscribe the channel, comment me if you have any doubts or any issues or any better solution also you have which can be implemented in these two questions, then please do comment me as well. So thank you, have a great day.